everyone, Pineapple here with the next episode of the One Piece live action, episode 3, Tell No Tales, the start of the Syrup Village arc. Last time we hung out with Buggy, a great performance, and paired with flashbacks and some intrigue, we left off at an interesting place. But before we go into the season arc, it's Usopp time. Will he be more enjoyable here instead of being just the worst in the anime? Let's see in Tell No Tales. We get a pretty decent intro to Usopp, played by Jacob Romero, as he plays the same prank he's been doing for years, sounding the pirate alarm. Yes, he really is just asking for a boy who cried wolf moment, isn't he? The townspeople over these 7 years not remotely amused. Now this is pretty spot on for Usopp, a pathological liar who deals with his insecurities in pretty self-destructive ways, but through the series seeking to better himself. And while I like his journey, at least so far as Water 7 and Enies Lobby, I find the anime version of the character to be consistently grating. I had enough of him by the time we got to Skypiea, but I feel like the live-action version of the character keeps these core traits, but with a physical actor removes the cartoonish nth degree of his characterization, making him, yes, a little annoying at times, but mostly as comic relief in those aspects, not as someone you want them to throw overboard. He gets his unique title card, loving those, and back with the crew Luffy has cutely made a Jolly Roger. It's not great, but he tried his best and that's the main thing.
Zoro, check it out. That's unique.
It takes a while, but Zoro finds a leak, busting Nami's way of communication and meaning the boat is on borrowed time. So while Luffy coins them the Straw Hats, he figures they need to go where the boats are made. So Nami points them towards the Gecko Islands, coincidentally the direction of Syrup Village, giving us some fun banter. Meanwhile, Garp's pretty cool looking ship heads in the same direction, him trying to whip his new marines, including Helmeppo and Kobe, into shape. Helmeppo getting humbled when trying to be a dick, getting Kobe upgraded while Malfoy rots with the menial tasks. Zoro is pissed that they missed the bounty on Buggy's head, finding his wanted poster in Syrup Village. With a really bad lens. Jesus, what is with this blurry fisheye business? There is a time and a place for these kind of shots, and I'm pretty sure it is not right now. We cut back to see Buggy finally putting himself back together, met with one of Arlong's fishmen. Buggy trying to be confident, but he's clearly intimidated even before the fishman kicks his ass. It's short and we'll see more of Arlong later, but considering the great actor and the way it better ties into the season narrative, I like that we get to see more of Buggy instead of waiting till Logetown. The Straw Hats find the shipbuilding yard, Luffy's eyes a little bigger than his stomach. Ironic since his stomach seems boundless. But after Nami clocks the way this world works, they run into Usopp. Luffy not wanting to steal a ship, once again idealized, while Nami wants to up and take one. But Luffy is immediately taken in by Usopp's upselling. But mostly, while he does embellish details, his actual lies come apparent very quickly, mostly voluntarily. So he's not too bad. And the delivery helps sell it in a comedic aspect, even if really not my type of comedy. Usopp reveals he's friends with the shipyard's owner, taking them to her, while Garp, after wandering around for a little bit, like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, he challenges Kobe to a game of Go. Wow, if only he treated his grandson with this much respect, they might be on better terms. Not much is done with this yet, so with a really neat transition, we come back to Usopp sneaking them onto his friend's Kaya's grounds. Kaya, in truth, a very good friend of his, but the staff of the house not enjoying the liar's presence. Of course, since they appear here, I'll talk about them now. The two lower staff, Bucci and Sham, who appeared later in this arc in the anime, work really well now as staff in the house, making Kaya's house seem more realistic and fleshed out than just Klahadore and Mary. Both looking really nice, but the big change comes in, why is the character that's supposed to look like a freaky looking hunchbacked catman in Sham hot now? What a glow up. Gollum from Lord of the Rings to a goddamn model. Good lord. Okay, that's enough simping, as the sick, Kaya, and attentive, but let's face it, obviously evil butler Klahadore arrive. Now the reveal isn't really a surprise, but I do think that Alexander Maniatis does a very good job at selling both the kind and psychopathic sides of Klahadore, aka Kuro. But we already know the show's formula, and of course it's going to be the slow-talking, imposing butler that Zoro seems to recognize. Meanwhile, Kaya is very happy to see Usopp and invites them all in, played by Celeste Lutz. And Kaya is used a lot better here than in the anime on the whole, although even without perfect recollection of the Syrup Village anime arc, I do feel that Kaya loses some agency here. But other than her very good interactions with Usopp, her many new scenes with Nami, and the way Nami's worldview is challenged by finding the one loving and kind rich person in power, those scenes being very good additions I don't recall from the anime, which do really well to cement Kaya as more of a character outside of the plot. And bringing Nami to the front, considering with Luffy, she is one of the larger protagonists plot-wise. We get to see a cute scene between Usopp and Kaya where he delivers her birthday gift. It's obviously a segue into one of his tall tales, but it's clear that she knows his bullshit, so I love the dynamic the characters have. Even if the stories are falsehoods, she enjoys Usopp's company, and even the fakery is exciting enough when she's so sickly, his lies being less selfish aggrandizing, but something he does for both internal issues like the pirates, and for her sake.
tea is the only thing that makes me feel better. That and your stories, of course.
Well, I'll keep going on these grand adventures as long as you want to hear them.
The crew shape up for dinner, Nami trying outfits proving that it's all of the women in this house serving, not just the servant. Even if Zoro and Luffy's minds really aren't on the ball. The sets on the inside of the house are all spectacular. And looking around, Luffy and Nami argue about Kaya. Between his reading of Kaya as lonely and Nami slipping back into her rich people hatred, making for more good dialogue between the crew, betting that he can get the ship for free, Nami's plan being a backup. Meanwhile, Klahadore is serving Kaya suspicious tea, and he really is laying it on thick. But the actors really work well together, only making the betrayal more heartbreaking, but like I said before, it's more an expectation of tropes that reveals his intent this early, and not the acting. But he does immediately come to the kitchen, intimidating the cat help, so much that they almost piss themselves. Sure, they don't explicitly spell out he's in on the plot, so he might just be abusive of the staff. Probably the lesser of those two evils, but come on. I would have liked it if they kept up the charade a little longer. But of course, the butler will do it. Garp spends some more time with Kobe. It's not a lot, but even with these short scenes, the dynamic is very entertaining and helps with the illusion of time passing over at the mansion. We get to see the live-action Mary, and I'm not disappointed. I love how they've brought this world to life where people can look ridiculous as if dressing like a sheep, and they just roll with it. Perfect tone-wise, and I love his look. Nami tries to put the moves on him, but he is not that receptive. But the dinner starts as she gets to talk with Kaya while Zoro interrogates Klahadore, insinuating he is Kuro. And the way Kuro responds does not sound like the original question to me.
Funky bar. Mirror Ball Island.
Funky bar.
While Mary is very insistent, Kaya shouldn't be giving Klahadore control of the shipyard. Some resistance is put up against Klahadore when he tries to feed Kaya the suspicious stew.
Blooming sharks in it!
But Kaya reveals that tonight she will receive full ownership of the shipyard, coming of age, Mary having run it all this time. Luffy happy since they want a ship. Kaya a lot more receptive to dealing with pirates than expected. But let's face it, the way Luffy talks about their dealing with Buggy, she probably assumes he's another Usopp. He brings about too much excitement, seriously dude, get the fuck off the table, while Nami and Zoro suffer secondhand embarrassment, causing Kaya to deteriorate once Klahadore freaks the fuck out. Garp is getting his ass kicked, so when evidence of Luffy turning up at the Gecko Islands appears, he sends Kobe in charge along with Helmeppo to search for them. At the same time, Kuro starts acting like a horror movie villain. And when he gets wind of Mary trying to convince Kaya out of giving Klahadore the shipyard, seriously, we just met him and he's kinda badass for standing up to Kuro, but unfortunately Kuro goes full horror movie and after spending time fucking with Mary finally stabs him 5 times at once. Now, do his kitty claw gloves look ridiculous? Yes, but my god, is everything about his look and mannerisms a perfect adaptation and evolution of the character. The goofier aspects like the blades are made imposing, and his personality is a lot more menacing and verbally violent. I'm loving this arc when it was one of the weaker from the East Blue in the anime. We cut back to Buggy again, and Arlong himself is there to intimidate him, coming along with his own hip-hop beat. Now, I like the portrayal by McKinley Belcher III. My only critique is that I think he should be a little bigger, taller, and buffer, but I kinda get why they didn't go that route, or try adding a whole bunch of CGI to make him taller. As he is, he's still pretty intimidating. I just think having him tower more over his opponents by a higher degree added better to his intimidation. And it seems the showrunners know this by purposefully having Buggy lower than him and keeping Arlong predominantly in the shadow, even if you can clearly see him. Buggy bargains for his own freedom by pointing Arlong Luffy's way, implying he can get Luffy's location, so he gets clown-napped. Back at the house, Zoro and Luffy are sneaking around, deciding to do some midnight snacking, while Nami decides rich people are for robbing. Her accidentally running straight into Kaya, who couldn't really care less about Nami taking the pricey things that she doesn't care about. Nami being very prickly, but eventually the kind girl worms her way into Nami's good graces. The two understanding each other well. Usopp is found in the kitchen. Wait, hold on, do only the ill sleep in this goddamn house? Usopp enjoys Luffy's stories, both him and Kaya refusing to acknowledge their feelings, but it's really sweet how they talk about each other. Her there for him, and him using his stories to do the same. Kaya gets some more good emotional moments talking about her parents. Still really good with Nami. Luffy recognizes Usopp's good aim, realizing his deadbeat dad, Usopp, was part of Shanks' crew. Damn, imagine meeting some guy who spent time with your deadbeat dad you haven't seen in however long, telling you he gave out great wisdom. That's gotta suck. Luffy chugs the nondescript blue porridge, while the other boys go into the cellar for some wine, but instead come upon some chopped lamb. Okay, that joke might have been in bad taste. Klahadore confronts them before they can get out, Zoro finally fully recognizing him as Kuro, who was teased having his wanted poster in the safe earlier, and Captain Morgan having mentioned him in episode 1. Zoro ready to fight but taken out by the hottie, sending Usopp running away. The minions left to deal with the body, dumping him in the well out back. Nami and Kaya finish their girl time, finishing with a pep talk and Nami leaving behind some of her collected treasure. A really nice moment. Usopp predictably isn't believed when screaming out about pirates, and we reveal that Usopp's calling was a cry for help, trying to call his father back home as his sickly mother literally dies in front of him. Oh, that is fucked up. Finally, the episode ends with Kobe appearing, someone finally believing Usopp, and proving that having Kobe this early on in the story isn't a waste. So that was part 1 of the Syrup Village arc, episode 3, Tell No Tales. And we got a very strong outing. This Usopp feels a lot better than in the anime version, and to be fair, it's been a while since I've watched the anime version, but I also feel that way with Kaya, as yes, she has strong emotional ties to Kuro, especially in the next episode, but I like that a lot of her characterization is less towards the story arc and more towards our main characters. Kuro is adapted well, and I always enjoy seeing more Sham in this. We got some more overarching plot progression that was nicely done, and bringing Kobe into the series arc felt very natural with the show's direction. So I'm excited to see where this arc goes next time. Thank you for watching my review of episode 3. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so that you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.